Respecting your parents, even if they're difficult? Let's add in while learning to not still be afraid of their opinion after 50? Are you dealing with a difficult parent in adulthood? If so, listen up. Welcome to the Best Years Podcast. This is Dr. Darlene speaking to Generation X and baby boomers who want more. I'll share power, skills, and tools with you to get your mojo back and love your life. Welcome today. Very important topic. Are you dealing with difficult parents? Do you have controlling parents in adulthood, which is different than controlling parents when you're young and you live at home? So how to deal with those stubborn, aging parents, and aren't they just stubborn? And what do you do about that? And we've been taught to respect your parents. Respect your parents. Respect your parents. In every culture, people are taught to respect their parents. Well, what does that mean? Do you respect them? What do you do if your parents hate you? Do you respect them? So let's talk today about how roles and job descriptions change and shift throughout the lifespan, and how if you're over 40, 50, you have a different job than you had when you were young. Although the unconscious mind is alive and well, and it doesn't know the difference. It will trigger you right back to when you're 3. It'll trigger you right back to when you were 10 and 16 being controlled by your parents. I have had 40, 50, 60-year-old men and women in my office sitting on the couch sobbing because of a memory of what their parents said to them when they were 5. Triggered back. I had a client the other day that showed up to his elderly father's house with a ladder. My client is 50, and he was climbing the ladder, and the dad came out and says, be careful. No, don't do it that way. You've got to lean over. And my client was like, are you kidding? I have a male friend whose mom always says something like, take care of my baby. And she calls her 60-year-old son her baby. My baby. I hope my baby doesn't get hurt. He was going out of town. She says, I hope my baby doesn't get hurt. And we all looked at her and said, your baby? She goes, yeah, he's my only child. Okay, he's your baby. He's 60. So what does this son do with that? Does he just go, my mom's cute? Or does it devastate him? Does it make him feel less than or feel younger? Like a little baby and you're 60. So these are all really common situations. And if you have the things I'm mentioning, it's common and it doesn't feel good. It's discounting. It makes it hard to live in the present moment and be where you are in your age with your kids and your grandkids when you're called sweetie pie or baby. So if this is a problem for you, let's fix it today. Your mind will change by the end of this podcast dramatically. Let's start with the fact that when you were little, you looked up to your parents. And I do something in a workshop where I have people pair off. And then I have one of them be the parent and one the child. And I have the child kneel down and look up at the other one as though they are their parent. And they look way up to that woman who's 5'2". My mommy's so big. And it's a huge aha. How big is your mom? Who's 5 feet tall? She's giant. What if he's 6 feet tall? What if they raise their hand to you? What if they point their finger at you and you're just little looking up? It's really, really intimidating. In addition, your parents fed you, wiped your little bottom, told you what to wear, did everything for you. And 18 years is like nothing. Look back 18 years. Bam. Oh, wasn't that yesterday? So you're only in their home for 18 years-ish. And why is it that there's such an effect on you forever with the things and the meanings that you made? It's all about the meanings and beliefs that you made. I have further podcasts with really explaining unconscious dynamics and inner child work. For today, we're going to do a behavioral exercise that, like I said, will shift the way you think in terms of roles. Before we get to that exercise, what is the balance between respecting your parents and setting boundaries? So we're going to start there. I have another podcast on boundaries, but for today, in order to keep respect for your parent who's off base, we need to set boundaries with correct verbiage, such as, Mom or Dad, I need you to, or I need you to not talk about the divorce at Thanksgiving, or I'll leave. For example, this works for me, this doesn't work for me. It works for me when I come over and we get busy in what we're going to do, but it doesn't work for me when you complain a lot. It really makes me feel bad. Or I need you to not criticize me. Or, Mom, I've decided if you're critical, I'm not coming over. Now, I get that you can't do that. Or you would have previous to this podcast. Because how do you do that? It's too scary. And I mean it with all due respect. It is scary. It's almost like something horrible is just going to happen. If you say that to your parent, even though it is a boundary and it's respectful, it still doesn't feel like it. I get so much. I have 3 specific friends that are friends, good friends that struggle with this. And then I have just many clients that struggle with this. So I get this. So keep those boundaries in mind and the verbiage, and hold on to them for just a minute. Let me help you out and how to say them. I want you to establish right now, and you can say it out loud. You can write a sticky note and put it on your wall 10 times. I'm not my mom. I'm not my dad. They are not me. My mom is not me. My dad is not me. I'm not my parents. My responsibility is me and my family or business. My parents are my responsibility in some ways in terms of taking care of them specifically, but I don't need to take in what they say. As I mentioned, the roles change as you age. And as that occurs, a normal parent-adult-child relationship is different than a child-parent relationship. But how do you change it? Here's my exercise. If you could imagine seeing me, I'm having both of my hands in front of me, elbows out, and big fingers, fingertip to fingertip. My palm is parallel to the floor. So my elbows are out, my fingers are touching, and my palms are facing the floor. Now, I'm going to take my right hand up about eye level, about forehead level, and my left hand down to about chest level. The bottom one is a child. The top one is the parent. The person on the top, the parent, has all the responsibility of this relationship when the child is 1. When the child is 2, the parent still has all the responsibility for this relationship. All of it. If my child is mean or rude or screams, I still, as a parent, have all the responsibility to be patient. I can't say, well, he's being rude, so I'm going to be rude back. No. You have all the responsibility to be the adult. Now, as the child ages, and I'm going to raise my left hand up to neck height, let's say he's 10, 12, he has a little more responsibility in the relationship, but the parent still has, 97, 98%? So my 12-year-old's going, Mom, you're stupid, I hate you, blah, blah, blah. And the parent still has the responsibility to be the adult, and they're in charge of that relationship. And understanding that that child is going through developmental stages. So as the child grows up, they come closer, and the right hand goes down, the left hand comes up, and let's say your kid's 18, and they're being naughty or difficult. Well, you know what? You have a little bit of responsibility, sweetie, as a child. Your parent doesn't have all the responsibility anymore. They have most of it because the right hand is about a foot higher than the left side. But at 18, the kid's got some responsibility, but does not have full responsibility because they still don't know what they're doing. Not that the parent does. Let's just say they know more. And the child still acts out, and the parent seeks coaching, counseling, spiritual help, books, tapes, songs, resources, groups to help them Be a better parent of an 18-year-old. Now the 18-year-old continues in life, and up they come with a little more wherewithal, a little more thought, a little more life experience, more education, and they come up, now they're about 4 inches below the parent in the terms of responsibility. So the child now has more responsibility. You're 26 years old. You've been out of the house for a few years. You've got a job and you're getting married. So guess what? You have responsibility. If we get in a funk, that child has responsibility for repairing the relationship or reaching out or calling mom to see how she is instead of always mommy or daddy calling them. They have responsibility to reciprocate. So as the child ages, now in my experience, because I have 5 children, had 4 stepchildren, a lot of experience, and my kids range from 26 to 41 now, I'm thinking about age 30-ish to 35, 3. My fingertips are matching now. Elbows out. There is a reciprocal relationship. The kid has as much responsibility in this relationship as the parent. If you're in a funk, there's equal responsibility. Just like you and your, say, ladies, you and your girlfriends. Who has responsibility for the relationship? You both do, equally. And if it's not reciprocal, I don't want to be friends with that person if I'm always the one that has to reach out, repair, communicate. How about always the one asking her to go to lunch? It needs to be reciprocal not only in a funk, but also in good times. So now the child has equal responsibility, and you, we're going to say, are the child. You're age 50. So now you're with your parent, your level. But what happens when you become 40, 50, 60, then the left hand goes above the right hand. And then the right hand goes down, the left hand comes up, and now the child has more responsibility in the relationship than the parent. Because the child, you are still going to school, you're learning, you know technology, you're moving, your parents are more stable, they're in their home, they haven't moved for 40 years, and they're not learning new resources. They're stuck in their ways. So you as a child have much more responsibility in this relationship than they do. So, with that in mind, they say, you're my baby, don't get hurt. And you just say, ha, you're cute, Mom, winky, winky. And my mom cracks me up. So cute. And it doesn't affect you because you have more responsibility because she's almost like a child. And as the parent ages and you become older and older, pretty soon your parents are elderly and they don't know much except they do know wisdom. But they don't know specifically if you should buy that car or not. They don't know specifically if you should go back to school or not. They don't know those things when they get older and older. They only know that love, faith, their religion maybe. They know that parenting is important. They know basic principles. And yes, the elderly are wise and we feast at their feet. Just not in the details of life anymore. Because life has changed. We do our work over the phone instead of in person. We are always texting. We have social media. We're flying across the country. Why do you always fly across the country and leave me? And then you look at your mom and say, I'm sorry, Mom, that must be hard on you. I love you. Because you're the adult now. Doesn't that feel good? Yeah. The roles change. And when you understand you have more responsibility in the relationship, you can use the verbiage, Mom, I need you to. What works for me to do is what works not for me or what doesn't work for me, I've decided. And now you can say the verbiage of setting boundaries that are nice and they're firm and they're respectful and they're firm. Your parents don't have power over you anymore. Take what works from your childhood. Breathe it in. Be grateful for the things that helped you bloom in your life now. Be grateful for there's always a nugget of something you can take from a bad relationship with your parents. You can always take something of what you're going to change when you become a parent. So how to deal with parents? How you do it is you recognize you have more responsibility in the relationship than I do. And with that, you can love them with all the love of creation and be grateful that they came first in their stinky little ways and their orneriness and all of their controlling needs that they have. That's their stuff, not yours, because you are not your parents. You are you. You're a beautiful person. I hope this has helped you. I'd love comments below and let me know how this has helped you so we can help others. And I hope that you have a really great day and are able to integrate what I've shared with you and make yourself a better day and live the best years of your life. And taking care of those beautiful elderly parents can be beautiful with all that occurs. Thank you, and we'll talk soon. If you like what you've heard, please subscribe to my channel so we can hang out. Also go to whatstopsyou.com for notes to this podcast and learn more power skills to indeed live the best years of your life.